from the Agency on the Infrastructure and Transportation of Finland. If you can please keep within 10-12 minutes, we can have more time. We're going to have some time for the conversation, for some panel activity. Please, Mauri.
Thank you very much. I try to find my presentation. Are you able to see my presentation right now?
Yeah, we see it.
Okay, that's cool. Hello everyone, my name is Mauri Makiaho. I'm working in Finnish Transport Infrastructure Agency. It's a government agency and we are working among infrastructure. So we are under the Ministry of Transport and Communications, and we are taking care of the public roads and railways and waterways. And our agency is owner of this infrastructure. So we are responsible of maintaining and improving these transport services in Finland. And basically every new projects which are so big that they are specific named in state budget, they are under our control and under our responsibility. About worldwide megatrends, this digitalization, automatization, transport services and transport systems is one of our things which we are promoting. And one thing also which I want to point out is this, that our goal is to promote the effectiveness of infrastructure management marketing. That's because our agency is a client organization. We don't do anything construction works or designing by ourselves, but we are buying everything from the markets. These are some numbers. We have 400 people working in our agency, but indirectly the people who are involved through these projects are 14,000 in Finland, and we are the biggest client organization in Finland who is in this industry. So how we perform has effects to the whole Finnish infrastructure markets. I'm working here in our organization in projects department. We have 50 experts for managing the projects, project managers, engineers, financing managers, and so on. So only 50 people, and after that we are buying services from consultant companies and designers and contractors to deliver our projects. I'm not going deep inside these statistics, but as I said, we are taking care of the railways, roads, and maritimes. And as I said, we are the biggest player in the market in Finland in this way. Our funding comes mostly from the Finnish state budget. Of course, we have some funding from the EU, and we have cooperation projects with the municipalities in Finland, and also sometimes cooperation projects with the industry, private industries. There are some heavy mining industry, paper industry, nuclear power plants, many kind of industries in Finland, and sometimes we are financing these infra projects together. 2019, the situation was that we had a little bit less than 25 big projects going on in Finland in all those sectors. Roads and waterways. And suddenly what happens when the COVID situation started, our government decided that launched a national program to avoid the depression. And they launched in the second extra budget during 2019 already 13 new projects. And suddenly we faced that fact that we have to somehow plan how to do, in what order, and with which resources these projects, because in the same time when the government launch this program, they say that everything must be launched as quick as possible. And that was only the second extra budget during this year, but we had after all 5 extra budgets during 2019, and in the end of 2020 we had 14 new projects which we have to find resources, and we have to find project managers, we have to do the decisions, we have to do the preparations, track plans, road plans, building designs if they are doing, and of course we have to choose the contract models. So that was quite a challenge for us during last year. Resourcing, as I said before, we have approximately 50 experts working in our agency, and among myself there is 3 other people working in the same position, and we are designing the resources of our own agency. And this picture shows that there is lots of red color, and it means that all the people who are working in our organization are very busy now. About this resourcing, the situation right now is that all the project managers what we have, they have more than 1 project. Everybody has at least 2. Some of them has 3, 4, 5 projects. Of course, they are in different phases, not are so active. Some are in the preliminary phases, and some are in the quarantine phases, and they are not taking so much time. But usually in one project there is a project manager, project engineer, and financial management experts and project management assistants. And these are our own resources. And from consultants we are buying procurement service consultants, supervisors, communication consultants, BIM coordinators, safety coordinators, and so on. And if we think right now there is almost 100 very active projects going on. But how we are surviving? First, we are doing this kind of analysis of maturity of the projects, and in the same time, it means that we are prioritizing them. We are choosing which we are starting first, which is the second, and so on. So when we are doing designs about the projects, we are calculating the cost-benefit ratio. It is the one thing. Then there is, of course, some risk management. We have some administrative risks, permits, city plans, environment, and so on. And if the plan is several years old, those risks are higher than if we have a very new plan. We have plans which are done before, but we haven't had the funding to start them yet. So these are the things that we have to wait when we are thinking about the maturity of the projects. Then
Please,
there are
try to keep times. Thanks.
okay. Then there are technical risks. Planning situation could be different, and but also one very important thing is the choice of the contracting model and incentives. This is the one thing what we have learned that how we can accelerate the projects. This is the tool what we are using. It is a Finnish tool. You can find this information from my material afterwards also. But we are doing the analysis of the project and what kind of goals, incentives, and contracting models should be used in certain project. So the project evaluation and continuous improving results. This means that the contract model is evaluated in very carefully, and how we have been able to accelerate the projects is using a lot so-called IPD, integrated project deliveries. We have been using the pure alliance contract model, but of course we have developed more traditional contract models also. So this traditional design and build contract and overall contracts has been developed so that there is a so-called development phase before we starting the implementing of those, and that gives us a lot of room to handle all the risks and to handle so-called administrative risks better. And before and after the project, we have a feedback system, which is a standard in Finland. We are measuring how it is going. Then during the project, we are doing project evaluation internally, but then there are external independent evaluators also, safety, economy, other authorities. Then we are also using these iPad assessments. We have a program to have at least 2 iPad assessments during the year, so we have kind of wider perspective about how we are performing. And these analyses the results and decisions of how to improve and measure the other going on projects. And of course, we have to report about this. Thank you.
Thanks, Mauri. Now we have Lubos Duric from Ministry of Transportation and Construction. Please.
Good morning. My name is Lubos Duric. I'm from Slovakia, from Ministry of Transport. I also have the economy in a background similar to Remy Cohen, but working with the EU-funded project management for 16 years. My presentation will have two parts. It's about the preparation of a recovery plan in Slovakia from national point of view, but also I will present details how we at the Ministry of Transport are working with our agencies on the creation of the pipeline. In Slovakia, we have the key actor for management of the recovery and resilience plan, the Ministry of Finance. This is the entity which is negotiating the basic documents and with the European Commission. But on the national level, they are also working with the relevant ministries and preparing the final document. In addition, also the public consultations were held in November and December to give the opportunities to citizens and non-governmental organizations to raise, but also to business sector to raise their ideas which can be included to the plan. So what is now the content of the national document? We have 5 scope of the interest, which is the Green Slovakia for almost with allocation of almost 2 billion euro. We have the scope of another scope for education for everyone. Third scope is the competitive and innovative Slovakia. The fourth scope is for the health, life, and the last one, effective digitalization. So in general, they are quite similar to the other countries. Maybe it has some specifics in the terms of the health and education. When we go closer to the Green Slovakia component, we have the renewable resources and energy network, but also the renovation building, because this is the huge problem in Slovakia. But in terms of the transport infrastructure, we're coming to the modernization of the railways. It's linked to the policy from road to rail, and we would like to really eliminate the bottlenecks and to try to attract our public to use the railway system more than they used in the previous years. Also, the development of the decarbonization industry and using the alternative fuels is in our scope. In terms of the competitive and innovations, there is the basically 600 million euro dedicated for science and innovation research and motivation and benefits of the individuals. In terms of the state and digitalization, there is what we can underline is the reform of the justice, and but also the measures against corruption in Slovakia. Also the cybersecurity is quite relevant. In Healthy Life, you can see the division for the institutional care and the improving of the social and the health care. And that's it from this side. Now, what is maybe more important are the potential financial resources which we now have in Slovakia. This is the moment that Remy Cohen also mentioned that in one moment you have a lot of financial resources, and therefore it's very important to concentrate and to really divide with what kind of projects can be used for the resources which are open now, which are available. In Slovakia, we have the 6 billion euro which can be used from the plan of recovery and resilience, but also we still have almost 9 billion euro which is not spent from the programming period 2014-2020, which has to be spent until 2023. And we also are preparing the pipeline for the new programming period 2021-27 before another 30 billion euro. Part of the cost which will be dedicated for the reform will be also financed from the state budget. So modernization of railways, what we like to do to make the ecological type of the transport, but we would like to also significantly increase the number of passengers and to increase the volume of the transported goods and reduce the production of the pollutants. Elimination of bottlenecks in infrastructure is the scope for the investment, but also we would like to dedicate to the digital dispatch system, which is much more secure and safety than the previous manual traffic management. Also, we would like to buy the new rolling stocks, which will look much more modern and which can attract people or citizens to switch to use the railway. What is the reform, which is the condition for the recovery plan? We have the railway project prioritization. It is the document which is prepared in close cooperation with our Ministry of Finance that have a special department called Value for Money. From the name of the department, you can see that they are assessing, evaluating each project and its potential and contribution for the society. In Slovakia, we didn't have such document before. For the road sector, we already did one and completed last year. And in this year, we would like to make the prioritization, the ranking of the projects for the railway. Then we can be more effective in the preparation of our investment, and we can improve the coordination between state administration and regional administration. In terms of the effective management, I prepare my main ideas, the bullet points, but you can see that my colleagues already identify some of them. But what is the main condition? That only returnable and major projects will be financed from the budget of public administration. In each ministry and in our ministry as well, there will be the analytical units who will be responsible for justification of the investment. So it's ex ante and ex post evaluation through the CBA tool. So what we are doing on this illustration, you can see that where we are now, what is our plan, our field, how we are preparing the pipeline for the next decade. In the brown color, you can see that we have the two tools, cohesion and ERDF fund, but also the Connecting European facility that has to be financed until 2020 period, and we have plus 3 years. So we have the certain number of projects that has to be finalized now, and these are for us the top priority. But now we also have this Recovery and Resilience Fund, where the eligible period is from February 2020 until June 2026. So it's also for us the real challenge to find the projects which can be implemented in this period, and this project needs to meet the eligible criteria. But also in the same time, we are preparing the pipeline for the Connecting European facility and other European funds for the next programming period 21-27, when we will have next 2 years also for eligibility until 2029. So for us, what is the main criteria that if there is the on TEN-T network, some funds has only the public transport as the criteria, but also the maturity. So what we need to find out if the contract is already signed, or what is the length of the construction period, because for the recovery fund, we can
Lubos,
really think that yes,
you should try to go toward the conclusion, because we have some questions there. Okay, thanks.
Just two next slides.
Okay.
So the length of the construction period, because if we would like to finish our project until June 2026, we really need to wait. We need to plan with a time contingency of at least 6 months before, because in our project, in huge projects, always something happen which can create the problem and challenges for us. So this is the illustration of the projects that we have, for example, and we have the prioritization. We identify if it's on the TEN-T core or not. We have the results of the CBA, and all these projects that are in our pipeline, we need to really split which of them are much more eligible for our current programming period, which are the best to use from the RRF fund, and which one can be used for the next programming period. It's a huge challenge, but this is what we are working now, and we hope that at the end we will be able to confirm that our absorption capacity was realistic, and we hope that our goals and the goals of the RRF fund will be achieved. So at the end, the advice and our motto is keep calm and manage the RRF. Thank you.
Thanks. We have now some questions from the audience. The first one is for Remy. Don't you think that the implementation of the recovery plan is more a question of policy rather than a question of method? Then there is a question for Mauri. For an efficient implementation of the recovery fund, the outsourcing procedure must already be identified, in place and fully functional, as well as the reference standards must be identified and applicable. Do our Italian European system fit with meet these criteria? I think that this question has been answered already through the chat. And then the third question is for, no, I have not any question for the time being. So there is a question from my side to try to identify the critical points of this procedure. And I request to all the panelists to take no more than 3 minutes, to make only a flash, because we are in delay with our program. Thanks. Remy, you can start. Remy, your microphone is closed.
Apologies. As I answered already in the chat, so the methodology and the policy framework are intertwined. In other words, we certainly need the policy framework where to apply the new, if there are new type of methodology that you want to apply. Why we need the methodology? Because we need to look ahead. We have to look at the financial returns of the given asset once the project will be up and running and built, because in 10 years time, we'll have to repay the debts that we are facing today. So it's not a free lunch. So we need to find already now, while we implement our type of projects, to put ourselves in a policy vision on how to repay those debt. One of the ways that I am suggesting, talking about infrastructure, is to go back to privatization according to new rules and new regulation concerning concessionaires and so on. The other way could be, but we don't want to touch it now. We have to envision new taxes or to reduce public spending somewhere else. But sooner or later, even though it's on a 15-year time horizon, that will have to be reduced. Unless the growth that we are going to achieve more through the reform rather than from the actual projects exceeds the debt service burden. In that case, that may not become so much an issue, provided that we can grow at a higher rate than our indebtedness. Okay.
Thanks. Mauri, I think you already answered to the question through the chat line, but if you only say something about the procurement procedures. So
yes, thank you. I think the principles are quite same because we are in the EU, both countries, and the legislation point of view, the situation is the same. And we have, of course, analyzed and tested our procedures and practices. And what comes to this privatization, we also have had some PPP projects, and we have some private operators to operate our infra. But we have seen that the PPPs, for example, is quite expensive way to finance in the end, and also that it sometimes does not give you possibilities to proceed if there are some administrative risks still when we want to proceed with our projects. And we have found that we are discussing with our markets a lot and interactively. We are asking because we know what projects are available and what is our own estimation about the schedules, when and what, but we are asking from the markets also, do you see that this is okay from the market's point of view? And of course, that doesn't mean that we do everything like the market wants to, but sometimes we are getting very good advices. For example, now we have many railroad projects, and the resources are limited in Finland. And they are able to give a feedback for us that if you put this and this project to starting in the same time or nearly in the same time, there is no resources available and it's going to be very expensive. We are able to take into account these kind of comments and adjust our own opinions a little bit and so on. But by the biggest success has been that to use these implemented project delivery models, so that we are getting together with the contractors and designers very early phases, even when we don't know all the risks. But when we are starting this kind of development phases with the markets, we are able to develop all the risks and the designs and everything else, and then decide later how we can proceed. And so it's in the client's point of view, it's the risk is low, and we have all the keys still. But
thank you, Mauri. Thank you, Mauri. And I have a final question that I think is for Lubos. The traditional methods of analysis and prioritization of projects are, in your opinion, still suitable for the current situation where the political and social aspect seems to be paramount over efficiency? Please, Lubos, only a flash, please.
Yeah. Well, the traditional methods are used for a certain time, and in my opinion, they proved the validity in using them as such a decision-making tool. But I agree with your point. It's a good one. But also the solution is that these aspects of the political social stability can be included into the multi-criteria analysis, which is also the integral part of this decision-making and the ranking creation system.
Thank you very much. And now is the turn of Alfredo.